It is my vagina. So that title first came from the sex ed. Also, like, sex ed, like the TV show. It should be your part of your yesod homework. But some of you guys are going to save it for the star path because you just don't have the time. Because you guys don't take magic seriously at all. So the point of this is that it's my cunt. I'm a fucking cunt. And for a reason. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry a lot of you guys hate me and cannot digest me. But here is the fun thing about being a cunt. It is my vagina. If I'm a cunt, I'm a vagina. I am a creator of universes. So when I am mean, what that means is that I'm breaking you down to be able to even do magic much faster. Whereas if I'm nice, you guys are still going to have to deal with those shadow components of yourselves, and almost every single one of you can't hack it. Also, if you've gone through the hell realms and have already been blessed, it's because you're a worker and you do slava, and which makes me look not mean at all. Sorry, guys. I'm just a reflection of every piece of work you still need to do. So, here is some fun work. It is my vagina. This video is about us creating the animal totem poles and the animal medicine wheel. Why yesod? It's based off of polarity. This is to create magic. So this is our first magic lesson. Most of you guys are like, but we already do medicine wheels. Not like me. I put that shit in a grid and it manifests usually within years. Sometimes within months, years. So like beetles at the top, and then all of a sudden I've lived in a home where those beetles didn't exist, and all of a sudden they are in swarms and now do. Also, when I lived with Mommy Star, it was like cockroaches all over the floor and ladybugs above, which most of you guys are like, no, but for animal spirit guides, that's the best. Survival below and blessed by the mommy heavens beneficial bugs on earth above. Do you get it? So none of you really even know what ladybug magic is. It means that you have been gone through so much Kali Ma hell, you are now being blessed with magic. So now you're not a parasite, but you are a beneficial bug. So that means that if you're a nag, if you're a bug, it doesn't matter because you're a benefit to this planet and this matrix, where everybody else might just be an aphid or something worse. And what? Ladybug magic is rad. So what it is it's Gabra with bits of Bina coming on. So you're like blessed from the heavens on what you guys call the left-hand path. I like to call it the right-hand path. But none of you understand why. Why? Because you're so used to being coddled by like lovey-dovey spiritual teachers. And then most of you, I'm going to forgive the fact that QuickTime is so horrible and just start where it leaves off. So most of you are so used to like lovey-dovey spiritual teachers that you guys think that that's the only way, and you guys know nothing about real spiritual teachers. Nothing. The only thing better than Lucifer is Dino Star, his mate. And she's, as Lucifer is the night fury, Dino Star is the light fury. And you guys don't understand. She likes torture. She's the white dragon. Lucifer's like, no, I don't like that at all. Death. Dino Star's like, torture. And that's her shadow side. So Dino Star comes in. The only thing funnier than Lucifer is Dino Star. She sounds just like him. She comes in and she goes, I'm a princess. Turn around. And you're like lusting after her light, and it's beautiful, and it's like, oh, I will do anything for this creature. It's like a fairy charmed goddess, right? And then you become her slave, and it's hilarious. Get to the point, Khaleesi. Okay, so you become her slave. You love her. You'll do anything for her. And then she says some really beautiful things like, oh, your tooth is now healed. And you're like, yeah, I believe. And for the first time in your life, you're like, yeah, I believe my tooth is healed. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, you start to believe everything she says. And then she says some really nasty shit to you, like, oh, you're gonna die alone on a farm, confused, like a demon. That cunt is miserable, and she enjoys that, just so you understand. Dino Star, those light spiritual teachers, are not better than the Lucifer spiritual teachers. Do you get it? Most of you guys need this lesson intensely. So, yeah. The difference between a saint and a master is a saint is like on a path of being good and righteous. A master, on the other hand, has like way more responsibility and way more leeway to go from the light to the dark, to the light to the dark. The point is that they are in control of their reality because they are taking responsibility for their reality. So now, I am certifiably, categorically a squib. I am no longer a muggle, you guys. Most of you still are. And how do I know this? Because the spell Repello Muggletum is like emanating in light frequencies out of my root chakra. Which means I am no longer holding muggle energy. It is now also going through my feet. So that light frequency is there. Now, it's going to take me about 7 years to mutate into a fully realized witch master. But even then, it's like, I'm not a master witch, I'm just a witch. That what can probably teleport or transmute everything. Now, the Repello Muggleton is like white X's. White X's everywhere. White X's. This. Kill this, kill this, kill this, kill this, kill this. Da-da. And what? Be able to move at diagonals. Okay. There is a new spell, Repello Squibtum, or Repello Squib Time. Because it's like the time that it takes for me to transmute from squib into witch needs to be reduced. Same thing. So that looks like little carmine, dark red octopus squids, like, but what they are little tentacles that grab on the energy and start to do the work for you. So it's like, bring this into my matrix, bring this into my DNA, bring this in, bring this in, bring this in. So that if you're emanating that in your aura, great. If you're emanating it through your root chakra, yeah, then you're in like full magic blood transmutation stage. The point is that I'm only going to seem as sane as you guys have experienced this magic. And if you've experienced it to the way that I've experienced it, none of you would be questioning it at all. So, what do we do now? All right, it's my vagina. I am not here to be a victim. I am here to be a creator, period. And I'm not going to be sitting here dependent on what anybody else wants to do. What I am going to do is go into the heavens, go into the earth, and start to mutate so that it doesn't matter what other people think, I can create my own reality no matter what. That's honestly why I go, stop being a victim, Jedi's wanted. Next. Dino Star and Muggle time, Squib time, vagina. Stop being a victim. There are 3 spells you can put on your vagina to stop being a victim, and that's Protego Totalum, Salvio Hexia, which is your beehive creation goo, and then Fianto Duri, which is what I call it, the Poe or the Dragon Warrior spell, because it creates a lasting through time, and that's the grape color, okay? It's grape goo in like purple spheres to keep it going, to keep your magic going. It also can look like infinity loops, but also that turn into grapes. It's the same thing. All right. What you do is you put your wand or your brain, same thing. Your wand, your want. Here's my favorite lesson from Lucifer. All I want is this grid. All I want is this. All I want is this. And then it begins to manifest in the grid. And the more gravity to the want, it begins to emanate through. So the point is that you need to take it from the higher realms and then pull it through into your body, which is much easier said than done, but that's why we practice. All I want, and that's how I start anytime, because I'm a higher energy starseed kind of person. For me to ground to the root system of planet Earth, it was like I really had to go into the all I want to set all the lower structures of the dragon eggs. So I would go all I want, and then it would go sphere, 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 sphere for all the anchor balls. And then all I want for all the posts and the metal braids. Okay. As that gets faster, you start becoming a magician and a manifester. Next. Spells on the vagina. Here's the fun thing. Learn how to Aikido everything. So if you have fears of like metal next to your vagina, turn your vagina into a metal-eating teeth vagina. Do you understand? If you're afraid of rape, go, my vagina is now made out of metal. Everything in life has a defense mechanism set in. So if you focus on the fear, that's what more likely you're going to attract. If you focus on I will be able to repel it, I will develop a self-defense mechanism, then you will be fine. Just saying. The Protego Totalum spell is this. Protego, like protection, and then total ohm. So what you're doing is creating a total baseline grid with wire matrix structure. Boxes on top of boxes, boxes on top of boxes. It's just like flat out matrix. And then you have the opalescent goober jelly, which is like highest karmic good. So you have free range to be able to create whatever you want and have it stick in a form. So if you put that on your vagina, it's like a magic healing salve. Great. The salviohexia is like a honeycomb, okay? So it's like the pearl with little blue dots of sparkles inside of it. And then, if you're really smart, you'll put dragon yolk inside of the honeycomb, because then you'll be blessed by the dragons. Next. And then the Fiantoduri is the grapes all around. And that keeps those spells going and growing. Yeah, of course, Harry Potter is real. That is the delusion that most of you guys don't understand, is that if it exists in the quantum field to be ingested by a mass audience, there's very much real about it. It's as real as you guys are real witches or wizards, whatever. You can do the same thing to your penises and balls too. It will be fun. You can make your penis into a wand. I don't care. Next. It is my, if you have both, then do both. Good for you. Spells on the vagina. We did that. Animal totems versus animal wheels. First, we will start with the wheel. I like to do it like this. All my directional frequencies come from baseline dragon magic, which is, we're going to write it down on a piece of paper like this, just so you guys can see everything. North is earth. South is fire. East is air, and west is water. So north rules your physical body, what you need to do to your physical form, okay? East is like your mental body. What are you going to be processing? South is your spiritual form, and then west is your emotional body. Yeah. I like to choose the animals actually based on what animal would be the most healing medicine to that body. So I'm going to kind of tell you guys what I have done repeatedly in the past. This has worked for me. Every time I do an animal medicine wheel for a student or a client, they are so vastly different from each other, it's not even funny. So what works for me is not going to be the same as for you guys, believe me. You need to think about your intentions and what is going to facilitate the change that you need to create in your life. So for me, I always did rhinoceros for Earth. Why? It's got a big nose. It's got a 17-month gestation period. It's long-term. It's ancient old soul. Knows as in like it knows where it's going, and it's strong. So for me, that was everything. It's got a lot of that brute force, but it's like wisdom brute force. Many of you would like to do elephant or giraffe here, but for me it was rhino. So I'm going to write rhino on here. For east, I always did something like owl. More wisdom for the air. Sometimes I'm going to do crow, but that will get different and better. So today I'm going to do crow. For the south gate, I always did cobra. Snake magic is really fun, you guys, but you've got to like understand you are going to go through processing. Because the point about snake magic is that you have to learn that the snake is you, your friend, and that you literally need to ground to Mother Earth so that snake doesn't bite you but wants to be your friend. Like, that's the point about snake magic. So if you're going to put a cobra in your spiritual component, you're literally asking to become a spiritual master. you're asking for it. That you're going to be able to be a snake charmer. And that's that. In the water component, I've historically done orca. Why? Because they are probably the most intellectually, emotionally intelligent creatures on the planet. And where most of you guys think I'm a giant dick, I starved on a beach for killer whales. I am more empathetic to those creatures and have more emotional empathy than almost every single one of you. So seriously, you guys need to do some deep mirror work. Deep. So it's gonna look like this. Get it over. I really like being told what a bitch I am from like shadow light workers that have not actually done all the work. There we go. It's really fun how much hypocrites like to tell you things that they still haven't processed themselves. I wonder what animal would be best for that, but I keep seeing a praying mantis, and that might be for a reason. All right, so we have north, west, east, and south, right? We then have up, down, all around, and center. So I like to do it. I'll usually draw that, and then I'll do a diagonal for up and down. And then I have all around, which is usually a spiral. And then I have the center. Always at the center, I have a dragon. That's the heart. The heart of my animal wheel is always a dragon. So I'm going to put that on. Up changes frequently. I almost never stay consistent, ever. Normally, I like to do beetles, because that's like resurrection of old magic. And on the bottom, I like to do tortoise or turtle. Why? So I can remember that taking small steps forward every day will actually get me to my destination and keep me out of idling. And there's a weird salviohexia grid on the turtle shell. So it's like, yeah. Most of you never got that teaching from the lion turtle. That's like part of the gateway or pathway to actually receive those elemental teachings. Bender technology. Tortoise, and then we have beetle. Technically, a ladybug is a beetle, so there you go. So this would be my animal medicine wheel. Now, for the all around, I was told to write down spider because a lot of you guys need it. Why? Because that's what's weaving the new magical frequencies into your grid and DNA. And it can get through all the holes when you guys have huge blocks, the little spider bite of poison or the little spider web will actually be able to get through all of your blocks and then be able to mutate it from the inside. So that's it. That's the complete medicine wheel. The next is your animal totem pole. So this is so that's for your home, you guys, like where you do your dragon egg or where you put your magic circle. Like this should be what you live in. So you'll actually begin to attract these animals. Like when I put the orca in, then all of a sudden I got to go on a trip to see all of the orcas. And then within a year or two, like the Beatles started manifesting out of thin air. And like I used to have snakes out in the hall, like as another grid. And then all of a sudden I started to track that stuff too. So that's that. Next is the totem pole. So the totem pole is what you personally carry around with you in your chakra system every day, all day long. So it doesn't matter if you're inside your wheel or outside of your wheel. This is what the real, not the real stuff, but what stays with you. Your totem pole is what's going to emanate in your spinal column spiritually. If you want to become a shapeshifter into a form, you need that animal or that frequency in your totem, period. There is no way around it. To shapeshift into that species, you're going to need it in your genetic bloodline. At my root chakra, I always put dragon. My first shapeshifting genome is going to be a dragon. So we're going to build mine, and then you guys can copy it. So I like to do it So I'm going to do root, chakra, sacral chakra, solar, heart. Sometimes I do high heart, sometimes I don't. So it's going to start to look like this. And then I do throat. And sometimes I do the secondary third eye, like the Cave of Wonders. It's what comes out of your mouth. And then I do third eye. And then I do crown. And then at that point in the lineage that I was taught, but there's so much more. Higher self, divine femme, and divine masculine. So 3 more above. Higher self, divine femme, divine masculine. So then you always have to know, as above, so below. If there are 3 above, there are probably going to be at least 3 more below. But then you have, the root is a 4-point sequence. If you can break through the frequencies of red, which most of you are not doing, believe me, you'll go into darker red, and from that you'll go into reddish brown, and then you'll go into dark brown, and then you'll go into brown black, and then you'll go into black. So it just keeps on lowering in frequency. And then at that point, that black is not fast black. That black is slow black. There are many types of black in the universe. I love them all. So for root, dragon. What that means is I am now going to be responsible for mutating my body physically. In the red, I am ready for dragons. As in, I will be ready in the physical world to be able to handle a dragon. Sacral chakra. I'm going to say Black Panther. Why? Independence, mastery, being able to transmute. The Jaguar Black Panther totem is a shaman's totem. It is a mastery shaman totem. For solar, this is all about where I digest my information and then move my energy forward. So right now I'm going to put ibis or crane. Why? Because it's an intelligent bird. It's usually connected to the higher divine light energy that can actually transmute it. Or I could do python, either or. I'm just going to put both ibis python. Probably choose one. Do not do both unless you know how to deal with a chimera. For the heart, I'm going to put frog or toad. Why? Because I could use a lot of emotional processing there right now. High heart, it's my heart, but my high heart is singing right now. Why? Because my higher self energy is much happier than this part of my heart frequency. So this one could use a butterfly or dragonfly or a worm. I like the worm. Worm magic is incredible, you guys, because worms, what they do is they take undigested shit and then actually create it into castings. So it's kind of another mastery totem, but it's like I can actually alchemically process all of this information and then create something new that's beneficial to a living ecosystem. Worm is actually a really good totem for your solar plexus as well. Most of you actually could use that. Throat, crow. This is why you guys all think I'm a giant cunt. None of you like the sound of my voice, but at the end of the day, I'm speaking magic. Crow. Second, third eye. I'm going to do magpie. What? That's a crow, but it's a shamu crow. Like it's a white and black totem crow. And it has a really strong connection to the mate. And right now, I could use a lot of good energy going from my mouth to my mate. Third eye. I don't know. Unicorn. That's usually at my higher self or something. Phoenix. We'll do the phoenix for my third eye. Phoenix is really good for purifying everything and going from death into rebirth. It's always going to be lit with fire. Always. Okay? Think of it. Phoenix tears have healing powers. It's because they're always connected to God. I like to say that the phoenix is actually a birthed magical creature of a unicorn plus a dragon. And then somehow the phoenix happened. So at the crown, I will put the unicorn. Higher self, dragonfly. Or praying mantis. Actually, I'm going to put praying mantis at my divine femme. Dragonfly at my higher self. And at my divine masculine, I'm going to put a spider. Like God will always be able to just reach in and change things whenever he can, even if I'm just blocked. So it ends up looking like this. If you need to pause this video, you can. And that's animal shamanism. Now, if you do not know the sacral system, like the back of your hand, or I'm sorry, the chakra system, like the same thing, like the back of your hand, then there's an issue. And you have work to do. And what? There are 1,000 spiritual teachers out there that will teach you about those. All right, Caller N out.